So that little bump on the landscape is where I'm aiming for. Good morning. So it's 7 o'clock and today I come from not the Peak District but the Scottish borders. I've got huge bags under my eyes. I took my kids to Edinburgh last night to see Taylor Swift. We didn't get back till 2 a.m. and my dogs, the little shits, have decided to start getting up after 4 o'clock the last couple of days, so I'm shattered. But we've been driving past this huge hill on the landscape for the last couple of days, and so I've come out to try and walk up it. So it's called Minto Hill. We've been calling it Big Boob Hill because it looks like a boob. So I'll show you in a second what it looks like. It's not a big hill, but it's a 4-mile circular walk. And it's a bit fresh this morning, which is nice. So we'll get to it and see what it's like. Hopefully not too boggy. I mean, come on. Look at that view. I do not want to go home. So for anybody who doesn't know, I don't know, I think me and Becca have mentioned it a few times in another video, that our mum and her side of the family, or my granny's side of the family, are Scottish. My grandparents are no longer with us, sadly, but I spent a lot of time up here in the Scottish borders. So yeah, my grandparents lived in a little border town called Hoyk, and my mum was born in this area, Dumfriesshire, and we've still got some family and close family friends that live up here. But it's actually about 19 years since I last came, which is ridiculous because it feels like when I was younger I used to spend so much time up here visiting my grandparents, and my aunt and uncle and cousins lived in Gretna. I spent loads of my school holidays here, and there's just too many hills and not enough time. But yeah, I spent a lot of time here, and it's weird coming back. It feels kind of like there's a nostalgia, but things have changed so much, you know, and the people that used to make this the place that it was, you know, if we're coming to visit, and like my granny and my granddad, obviously they're not here. There's like a bittersweet emptiness to it. I expected to be overwhelmed with emotion, and I just feel a little bit like it's beautiful, and I love being here, but it's kind of like a new thing now. It's not like the memory exists in that time that it was, and that's not here anymore. But anyway, I'm not getting any further up that hill, but I've just spotted another one, so I'm gonna have to come back. I think we're likely to come back in the next few months or so. There's quite a bit that we didn't get to do. I'll walk in a minute, I'll tell you. Let me just take a picture of these. I want to walk up there, and as you spin around, I mean, it's difficult to see, but in the background over there there's something a bit pointy over that direction as well. So yeah, I think we're going to come back up, because it's really weird. Like, I've been with my wife for just over 17 years, and Scotland and this sort of area of Scotland has been such a big part of my identity. And it's weird that we've never been. I mean, we spent a lot of our relationship skin and not having the best car and not having petrol to travel or whatever, but so that doesn't help. But yeah, I mean, it's so nice to kind of bring my family here, because I suppose there's areas that we've talked about. My grandparents owned a guest house, and I'd like to show my family where that was. My granddad built a bungalow next door to it, and where they lived. And then there's a little town called Langham, and I would like to go there. I was hoping to go and walk up to the Langham Monument, but I don't think we're going to get a chance. But my grandparents are interred at a graveyard on a hillside in Langham, so I think we're going to go home that way and pop up so I can visit their graves. But yeah, this is just like perfect. That's from a different angle. Should be turning off up there soon. Some ominous clouds above it. Right, we're off the road. It's gone a bit rustic. Cat down there. So I read a review of this little walk and it said that you are unlikely to run into anybody, so I thought that's a walk for me. Seen one guy pushing a wheelbarrow up a hill and that's about it so far, so perfect. Tell you what, there are some nice houses around here. They've got a few quid in these parts. I'd love to come and live here, but I think what I could afford would be a tent, rent a pitch in somebody's back garden. Oh God, my bloody eyes, look at the state of it. Got a 4-hour drive back to England as well in a little while. Oh, my bloody dogs. So it's hard to see from the road because you can mainly just see this bit from most places. And there is a trig atop one of these, so I didn't realise there were two. But it looks like it's maybe a small sort of ridge line. So we shall have a look when we get up there. Now obviously it wouldn't be a walk with me if it didn't feel like we were going off piste a little bit. I followed a route on OS Maps, but as some people may know who have got the app, I think sometimes people just plot a route and it's not the route that they've necessarily walked. So it doesn't look like it had snapped to a path, and I didn't take what I thought a half would. Maybe that'll get me back on track. Yeah, I didn't take the route that I thought was going to be the route, because this appeared to be a little track, but I can't see a path. Let's see, I might have to climb over a fence here. Trying to get up there. I'm starting to get worried, but there's a stile, so I'm obviously on an actual footpath here. Maybe corrected course. Still not sure how close we're getting to being up there. So I still don't know if I'm on the path I'm supposed to be on. There are no way markers to say that there's public right of way. So without this map, it wouldn't be clear what the route was at all. Although I'm now heading towards the hills, so got more chance than not that I might actually reach them. But yeah, that was a bit rugged, a little bit yeah, I was worried that it wasn't going to be enough of a hike because it's not the biggest hill, but yeah, plenty of shattered, brain's not engaged. Yeah, bit technical in places, let's say that. So we are coming up to the Paps, the Lalas, the Breasticles. Just wondering, this pole, whether it's the remnants of a way marker. Yes, there's a stile there, so clearly I am on course. I mean, it's just a track where the farmers have been up. I mean, check out over there. I mean, yeah, it's immense. So we're here, we've made it to the hills. So over this stile, and we start to ascend. These girls are all coming, running up to see me, so I'm kind of hoping that the field I'm going into isn't the field that they're in. How they're going now. Oh my god, this is vertical. Honestly, that is straight up. It's very windy up top. I've just done the summit of one of the hills and I'm heading over to that one to get the trig, and it's back down. I didn't bring a drink or anything, thinking it wasn't going to be that strenuous. So, looking a little beetroot-esque. That was a tough one. So we're descending the first summit. Well, I am descending the first summit, heading down and then all the way back up that bugger. Not overly thrilled that I look like I'm going through a cow field and there's a herd there, so we'll just have to see what that's looking like. Looks like there's potentially, I mean, some sort of farm vehicle is going up and down these, and I would shit my pants. Like, it is vertical, and the idea of being on do you call them TVRs or something? The idea of being on something like that and going up, I don't know whether you can sort of see over here, possibly not, there's sort of tracks up here and that is really steep. It looks like we might be doing a more kind of gentle stretch, but we'll have to see. Hopefully that takes me away from the coos. Glorious weather so far. It's cold, but you need it with these ascents, and it's damp, but because I'm warm, it's not too bad. This ain't filling me with great confidence, and I walked to the wrong bit. I thought there was a fence further down there that I came through, but it's not, it's this one with the cows. Awesome. I made it. I did think they were going to start coming towards me when I came over the fence. They were sort of pacing backwards and forwards. I think a little nervous, but came over the fence, stood for a second to see whether they were going to come towards me or not, and they didn't, so I started walking, and then they did start moving a little bit towards me, but sort of stayed in their place and let me go. I feel like we've got an understanding. They can sense the veganism in me. Right, going up the last one now. Although this is steep, it's a little bit more easy to climb. There's almost like little footsteps. Just in a little dip between the final push to the trig. I thought I was cow safe up here, but there are cow pats everywhere, so I'm not going to hang about. But yeah, just up over this hill and we're there. This was much harder than I anticipated. Short does not mean easy. down. I had to come back down to the cows that I escaped from first time round, but thankfully they seem to have stayed put. Going into a field of sheep, which is good because I thought I might have to come into this field when they're all coming and running over again. I think they're just curious because as soon as I actually get close they back off a bit. But with those ones I can hear a bit of which I guess is maybe a bit of a stress thing. One of my dogs does that when she's stressed. So I am shattered, but that was worth it. It was blowing a hoolie up there. Done it in the bag, my friend. Last style maybe, or certainly last field. Goodbye Minto Hill. I'm going to sign off here from my tales in the borders. Hopefully going to be back in a few months and have another hill or two to bring you. But I have thoroughly enjoyed that. I'm absolutely shattered and made it in one piece. See you next time.